Superannuation is undergoing massive changes from July 2025, and we have updates like significant increases in your employer contribution, your super payment schedule, and many more. So in this video, I'm going to review each change to your superannuation from July 2025, how these changes might impact your retirement plan, and how you can maximize your super. The first change: Super Guarantee increase. The Super Guarantee is pretty much the percentages of your wage that your employer is required to pay into your super account. From 1 July 2025, the Super Guarantee will increase from 11.5% to 12%. This means before, if you earn $100,000, your employer was required to pay $11,500 into your super fund. But from 1 July 2025, this payment has gone up to $12,000. However, you do need to be careful because your concessional contribution cap is still the same at $30,000 a year. This means the government only allows you to contribute the maximum of $30,000 per financial year for the concessional 15% tax rate. And this includes both your super contribution from your employer and your own salary sacrifice. So you don't want to go over the limit, since any excess amount will be taxed at a very high rate. And your super contribution from your company is not the only contribution in the cap. You also have your salary sacrifice contribution, where you sacrifice parts of your prepaid salary to put them into your super fund. For example, in the previous year, if your employer has been contributing $11,500 into your super fund, as per our example just now, and you have been sacrificing, let's say, $18,500 to meet the $30,000 cap, that has now changed for this upcoming financial year. Given from 1 July 2025, your company has to contribute 12% from 11.5% of your salary. In our example, your employer will be contributing $12,000, and if you're still sacrificing $18,500, the super contribution will be $30,500 in total, which is $500 more than the cap, and you will be taxed very highly. Of course, there are exceptions, and the exception lies if you still have unused super contribution from the previous years where you didn't exceed the cap. Then, and only then, can you roll over those unused contribution in the last 5 years to the existing year. Next up, we have the transfer balance cap update. But before we start, if you guys would like to see the newest insights and updates about personal finance, real estate, stocks, and crypto, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter in the description down below. Now back to transfer balance cap update. What is this? The transfer balance cap is the maximum amount of money you are allowed to move from your super balance into a retirement phase pension account when you retire. The retirement phase pension account is important because investment earnings inside these, so interest, dividends, capital gains, become completely tax-free as opposed to staying in your super fund balance where it's taxed at 15%. And as of July 2024, the transfer balance cap is $1.9 million. This amount is indexed to inflation, so when inflation increases in the last 2 years, so did the transfer balance cap. From 1 July 2025, the cap is increasing from $1.9 million per person or $3.8 million per household to $2 million per person or $4 million per household. So if you do have more than $2 million in your super, let's say for example you're bougie and you have $6 million, you can't transfer the whole amount into the tax-free pension phase immediately. You can only do $2 million. The leftover money, so your $4 million, stays in your super account where earnings are taxed at 15%. The beauty of using $2 million in the tax-free pension fund is that you save a lot of money in taxes. Let me do the math for you. Assuming an 8% market return, the total tax paid on your $6 million if you use the tax-free pension fund would be $48,000 per year. However, if you don't use the pension fund, you would need to pay $72,000 per year. So overall, you are saving $24,000 because of the transfer balance cap, all from doing nothing. And the best part, you can still access money from both accounts freely once you meet the retirement condition. However, where your money sits affects how much tax is paid while it stays invested. And that, my friend, is transfer balance cap for now. Let's move on to our third point: Payday Super. So what is Payday Super? Payday Super is a new rule in Australia starting from 1 July 2026. It means that employers must pay superannuation contributions to employees at the same time they pay their wages. And depending on when you're paid, might be weekly, quarterly, or fortnightly, your super now must also be paid into your super fund at the same time. Now you might ask, why is this being implemented? The birth of Payday Super was meant to help workers grow their super faster because the money gets invested earlier. This also helps to reduce unpaid super because employers now cannot delay super payment anymore. Now, for example, before you get paid every fortnight, but your super gets paid, let's say, every 3 months. But after 1 July 2026, you get paid every fortnight and your super for that pay gets paid immediately. One thing to note though, Payday Super is not yet legislated, and it is a proposal that is planned to start on 1 July 2026. Well, there you have it. In my opinion, superannuation is an extremely important tool for you to maximize your tax benefits, especially when you want to utilize your unused super contribution and transfer balance cap to the limits like I mentioned before. If done right, you're on a sure path to a fulfilling and comfortable, consistent, self-funded retirement. However, the thing is, everything I've told you is completely useless because you still need to know the benchmarks for your super balance at different age ranges to live a comfortable life retiring. So watch this video next to find out. And if you do enjoy this video, subscribe for more.